Now, remember this guy? Richard Colvin is the Canadian diplomat who blew the whistle on the government and the military. He said they ignored warnings of Afghan prisoner abuse. He was back in Ottawa today with more damning evidence. Our senior correspondent, Terry Milewski, has the story.
Richard Colvin is back and blowing more holes in the official story on Afghanistan. Still a senior diplomat in Canada's embassy in Washington, Colvin insisted that his warnings of torture were credible and substantiated, but often ignored.
Detainees were at high risk of abuse and torture.
But by Colvin's account, the Canadian military just didn't want to know. Example, the Red Cross, he said, complained in 2006 that Canadian forces wouldn't even take its calls about detainees, wouldn't even say who or how many there were, making it impossible for the Red Cross to check on them.
On the one hand, we tell them they have the right to monitor at any time. In practice, we were blocking them from doing that.
So, Colvin says he asked his military liaison, Major Eric Liebert, to find someone in the military to talk to the Red Cross, but no luck.
And he said, no one wants to touch this. This is what he told to me. This is a hot potato, and no one wants to pick it up.
Colvin says his reports about torture went to Defence Headquarters, where the High Command, then and now, has always denied reading them.
Nobody whispered in my ear, we've got a problem.
At no time did I receive information about torture or abuse.
And to suggest that senior military officials or commanders ignored these or covered them up is wrong.
But Colvin stuck to his story, and he did not spare his own bosses at Foreign Affairs, saying they too didn't want to hear what he said about the Afghan Security Service.
So I said, you know, the NDS tortures people, that's what they do, and if we don't want our detainees tortured, we shouldn't give them to the NDS.
The reaction, he said, was that the official note-taker put down her pen, so no record was made.
There was a rock, and if you lifted the rock, you would find a lot of, you know, ugly things, creepy crawlies under the rock.
And that was the picture that Colvin painted, that the government and the military knew what was under that rock, but did not want to turn it over. Peter.
All right, Terry, thanks very much. Senior correspondent Terry Milewski in Ottawa.